Just like that, boom, we are live. We are live. Welcome to Linked Up on LinkedIn. Peter Clarke, Red TV. Listen, I'm pumped, okay? I'm pumped. Look at this shirt. I rarely wear this shirt. You guys know I rarely wear this shirt. I bring this on when I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy, mostly in the Caribbean. When I'm down in the Caribbean, man, oh man, on the beach, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty pumped. This guy right here, okay? Michael Ray. Michael Ray is a guy I've been following for a couple of years on LinkedIn. And I'm so excited to have him today because he's been traveling around a little bit, doing good work, by the way, and all COVID approved. So he's doing great stuff out there. First of all, I want to say we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and anylittleword.com. We're probably doing that too. Again, Michael Ray has been doing some unbelievable things. Okay. He's the founder of Smile Project Louisville. Okay. He uses random acts of kindness to spread positivity, compassion and love. And that's what he's all about. And if you want a reason to smile today, boom, this guy's going to make it happen for us. So please, everybody, welcome Michael Ray. How are you?
Boom shakalaka, baby. What's up, man?
Oh, man, I'm
feeling you, man. I love your vibe and your energy, and what I often say, man, I am blessed to share this space with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. I couldn't sleep last night. I couldn't sleep. So I had to go out and I said, okay, I'm gonna decorate the studio. This is not my normal studio. I just said, listen, we're going to have.
It looks super sexy, dude.
Yeah, right, doesn't it? Just so everyone knows, that thing right there is actually a costume, so we can kind of walk around in that, but I won't do that. Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to my friend 𝙇𝙞𝙣𝙠𝙚, Get a Dose of Happiness here in Calgary, by the way, Michael. She's all about happiness and wellness and these kinds of things. And she has a spot here in Calgary where you can go down and actually, entrench yourself into happiness and stuff, which is awesome right there. I'll put it on the bottom for everybody there. 𝙇𝙤𝙣𝙠𝙚, A Dose of Happiness. Check her out here on LinkedIn. Okay. So thank you, Karen. I super appreciate that for all of these fun things here. And of course, I couldn't talk to you without balloons. I mean, come on. Anyone who watches what Michael does, there's always a balloon involved somewhere, right?
Right.
It's super good to see you, my friend. And there's so much to cover, so much to go over with you. And I appreciate, just before we went on, this is the first time we've met, everybody. And this is I asked him if it was okay, just to kind of go into different directions. Yeah. And he said, hey, man, bring it on. So I'm hoping that we're going to have a lot of fun. And I got you a very special surprise at the end. I've never done this.
Surprises, baby.
I know. Yeah, you're the king of surprises, right?
I kind of am, right?
You're the king of surprises. So look, hey, I just want to put up, look at this. Fantastic. Loving the energy here. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I was going to say, I hope Michael comes out of his shell today. He's so quiet and laid back. And Judy, always good to see you. Look, I love that. Sending the love.
I love that girl.
That. Yeah, and of course, the first question, Michael, I'll let someone else ask you.
Right. Where's Maddie Moo? Maddie Moo, look, as a divorced father, sometimes she has obligation commitments with my ex-wife. It's called life.
There you go. Absolutely.
We haven't figured out how to clone me or her yet. So
don't pass around that.
That's right, man.
Don't pass around that ingredient. You get cloned. I'll tell you that. Yeah. That's for sure. You know what? I love your story. You have so many different layers to the story. I think everyone knows you, obviously, as the Smile Project guy, if you will, and from Louisville and so on. Let's just start there. I mean, that's probably the easiest place to start for everybody. Yeah. You know what I'll do? I'll tell you what I'll do. How about we do this? Michael, we have so much to talk about. Let me throw up a little clip that I found that kind of explains, and then we'll come back. and we'll come back and talk about it. How about that? Because that's probably a little easier
man.
to understand. Here's a local television station here in Kentucky. In Kentucky, I'm in Canada, just so you know. And here we go. Let's go check this out. Mike will be right back with you.
In times like these, a smile can go a long way. On this Father's Day, meet a dad-daughter duo starting a movement, one smile at a time.
Moo, you're my brown-eyed girl.
Maddie Ray loves to dance.
Get a peanut.
She loves her family. And while she can't tell you herself, her smile says it all.
The beauty of her smile and want to share it with the world.
Maddie has Down syndrome and is nonverbal, but it doesn't take much for her to communicate. When nothing else seems clear, it's Maddie's face lighting up that provides clarity for her dad, Michael.
When I always needed to be uplifted, I always had one constant thing in my life, and that was her.
He wondered if Maddie's grin could do that for him. What could it do for others?
What can we do now to take how she has changed my life to impact the lives of strangers?
Smile Project Louisville started with a photo in a Wendy's drive-thru in the spring of 2018.
I said I would love to take a picture to remember us smiling together in this moment, to say, thank you to us.
Hey guys, look, dynamic duo here today.
Never knowing a moment would become a movement.
This little platform that I created, really just to create change in my life and within our community. And I often say we live in a very special community in Louisville, has resonated well beyond the city of Louisville.
Are you ready to go surprise Anita? Let's go.
Now he travels around the area with Maddie, spreading hope and happiness, something that costs nothing, but the payoff is huge. Smile after smile, story after story. At first taking pictures of strangers throughout the city, and now granting random acts of kindness.
People started nominating people and would be like, telling the story of why somebody needed a smile.
I'm going to socially distance these balloons.
That takes a little creativity these days.
We've used 10-foot poles, and I put giant plastic over me to hug it out with people.
Each one a chance to change someone's day, someone's life.
We're going through some crazy times, whether it's a pandemic and all the stuff recently, with race relations, is that if you lead with love and you find love in your heart, you have the ability then to go around and smile at complete strangers. I tell people we smile because life is hard, not easy.
Dad and daughter using a special smile to spread a message. No words necessary.
Be the reason someone smiles today, and I say, hey, give them a kiss, blow them a kiss.
I mean, come on. I don't know what to say.
And you know what? I've seen that so many times now, but it actually still gets me emotional. It's what I tell people a lot of times. It's the things that we feel in life. And I feel all those moments with all of those people or my daughter. And I've become, on my journey, an insanely emotional man. And I sit here watching that full of joy, but damn it, I'm crying.
Well, listen, that wasn't the intention. I'll tell you, for me, I had to get through it a few times myself. And I was like, I watch a lot of your content. I follow that content, and it's always the same reaction. It's always that you go the extra mile and so on. So talk to people real quick here, just so I encourage people to go out and of course connect with you. So let me throw that up first of all here on LinkedIn, Michael Ray Smile Project. So please go out and connect with him and follow him. Of course, you'll find all of this content pretty uplifting, inspiring. But let's talk about, generally speaking, you started this, it describes it in the video and so on, but you could do a lot of different things in your life, my friend. Choosing to go out and actually actively bring compassion and joy and happiness. Where does that come from for you?
Well, I think for me, I'm a doer. I'm a shower. And, I often say, we're all on this journey, and I don't judge how others do it, but I know what works for me. And that's kind of showing people. And, when I say things like I said in there, I smile because life is hard and not easy. I understand what people are going through because I've been there. Yeah. I understand what it's like, when your daughter doesn't walk till she's 5, has open heart surgery, doesn't talk. you know, the death of a child, a failed marriage, your career being broke, and then finding myself as a mid 40-year-old man living with my parents and delivering pizzas, and feeling like your life has no value. Right. You know, but the constant I always had, as I said in there, is I always had Maddie. Right. And, you know, as a parent, I tell people we take for granted those three simple words we hear, I love you, from our children. I've never heard I love you. She can say a handful of words. They're singular words. She's never put two words together. Okay. So when you don't hear that affirmation for me, as you see, just comes from those interactions we have. And it's her smiling, laughing, giggling. And it just tells me in my heart how much she loves me.
Yeah. And you share that then, of course, with others. It radiates from you and you go out and give it away to others. I love that. And you know what's interesting about this kind of story, if you will, backdrop, is that normally you find these things much more on Facebook, Instagram, these kinds of things. But you've built a really strong community here on LinkedIn, which is, I find that fascinating because, you know, LinkedIn is traditionally, you know, business centric, if you will. So I'm just wondering from you, why do you spend so much time on LinkedIn? Why have you built a community here?
Well, I resisted at first. And when I first started this, as they shared in the news story, it was all about pictures. And I was taking pictures with random strangers around the city, and I was sharing them on Facebook, and did it for well over a year, and talking about how others found themselves amazing and sharing, you know, a little bit of their story with the world. And then somebody locally, as I then started doing videos with Maddie, said, why in the hell are you not on LinkedIn? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You know, I go to network or find a job. I'm like, again, as you said, this is all Facebook and Insta and, right, and maybe some snaps or TikToks, but I wasn't. And it took me several months to finally say the hell with it. And as you see from what I do, I don't really have any comfort zones, but I guess it took me time to understand that it was okay and maybe socially acceptable, and that, okay, I'll just share it to another platform. And I think what I found and what I consistently see is the beauty of what LinkedIn offers. Right. You know, it's not just this simplicity of a connection. It offers amazing human beings all over the country and world. And for me, Facebook was more of a local thing.
Oh, okay.
And most of the people who followed me were either from Louisville or from the state of Kentucky. It's opened a whole other world, right, to talk about my journey. And again, not only connect, but build meaningful relationships, right, with so many people. Yeah, it's truly endless, and it blows me away. You know, still to this day, the number of people that come in and comment and engage. But again, that's how you can take the simplicity of a connection and build a relationship.
Yeah, I love that. And hey, that's how we connected. I'm in Canada. I mean, you know, I mean, I know Louisville because, of course, you know, we'll talk about that later. But the bourbon and whiskey. I mean, my liver is half Irish and Scottish, so
love it, man.
I can bathe in Guinness, just so you know. But you know, so I know where Kentucky is, obviously. But would I connect with people naturally, like you said, on Facebook or something? Probably not. Probably not. So I appreciate that, and you have a super strong community. I see lots of comments coming in, everybody. So please keep sending the comments in. We're going to get to the comments in a little bit to make sure Michael feels the love and so on. I want to take you in this direction, my friend. You know, you grew up as the eldest of 7 children. I mean, that's a story in itself. We'd probably write a book about that. You know, and it's interesting about being an older child. You know, they normally take on more responsibility. They're more confident. They're more conscientious. I mean, that's sort of the MO for generally speaking, very general. And they normally mirror their parents more because they hang around with adults a lot more as they get older. So I'm just wondering, how did that play out for you, being the oldest of 7? Did you fall in that category? Have you carried traits forward from your parents?
Oh my God, most certainly. And you know, in different facets. I mean, the first thing My father worked 32 years for the FBI. So, and he was a high extrovert. So, I found from him a great sense of moral character, integrity, in being an extrovert, the ability to kind of be that salesman and really, you never saw a stranger as a stranger. You kind of always brought them into your world. My mom was more of an introvert, didn't work, stay-at-home mom. And then the interesting dynamic, being the oldest of 7, I mean, you think we're all close, but it's really spread out. I have 2 sisters that are 2 and 3 years younger than me, but then my other brother is 10, then 14, 16, and my baby sister is 20 years younger than me. Okay. I was a sophomore in college when she was born, but I got exposed then in my late teens of children, in the love of kids, in kind of like nurturing and parenting as a 20-year-old man, but yet my baby sister,
Right. Right.
So it was a very interesting dynamic, certainly.
Yeah, I'm thinking this, and I'm thinking that again, those characters. I like what you talked about, the moral compass that you picked up from your dad. I like that as well. My dad is from the police services as well here in Canada, so I grew up around a police officer in my life as well. So the hair doesn't tell you, but I did pay attention to the law, just so you know, I did.
And I found out too that my dad was more of a badass for the first 3 or 4 of us, and then as age got him and the end of his career, he became he softened up and he parented differently. And I'm like, I needed this dad 20 years ago.
See, that's what I was thinking. You probably watched this. Have you say, well, I like Dad 2.0. I like that guy.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. I completely. I love that idea that, you're carrying those traits forward, because it's obviously shown in what you do here on LinkedIn and all the content that you create and so on. There's no doubt, though, that obviously this mountain, if you will, of love, kindness, compassion, you don't get to the mountain without going through some valleys. And I know you've been through some valleys. So people in your community know, from your life, you just described it there at the beginning there, that you lost a child, and that's one of the most obviously overwhelming, if you will, experience for any parent. I'm just wondering how that shaped you in how you dedicate your life now. Do you think it was a direct relationship, or it was just a part of your process? Do you think it shaped you of how you
I look back now and say it was part of the process. I don't live with regret, but I think emotionally and mentally, I wish I would have handled it differently in the time. There were some unique circumstances around it. Again, being an identical twin, I always had a constant reminder of what he would have looked like. It led into personal challenges because he died on my ex-wife's birthday. That presented some issues. And then as the mortgage industry collapsed and I found a lot of success there, and then the financial piece came into play, I didn't want to move. My ex-wife wanted to move, and it would have been the right decision considering where we were financially. But I looked at it saying, you're going to have to pry my lifeless body from this house because my son died in this house. I didn't want to leave, so, I look back in that time, it's a lot easier now understanding the journey and where I'm at, but yet back then, I wish I would have got professional help sooner. I wish I would have emotionally connected with my wife sooner and worked through it, because when you don't, you wake up, and as life moves, you find yourself years down the road, and that was a broken ass mess.
Right.
A broke mess. And then, kind of having an epiphany in 2014, when it was really the first time, as I shared, delivering pizzas and living with his parents and having to process all that and thinking that your life has no value. So therefore, let's end it. Right. And you're having those hard conversations with yourself, but yet I guess I always had this voice of reason. For me, it was my faith in that something greater is there for you. But hell, that was 2014. Right. And you still, so for me, some of the things I did, I quit taking antidepressants. I wouldn't tell everybody to do that, but I had taken them at that point 8 years. I stopped consuming sugar. Sugar for me was my drug of choice.
Wow.
I often say, thankfully it was nothing, worse than that. But hell, I gained a shit ton of weight,
Right.
and looking at going, hell, I'm going to keep doing this and find myself. So I started to do those things to put myself in a position, not knowing that it was still going to take years, that when I go through a Wendy's drive-through and meet a complete stranger, I can put two things together in, holy shit, I have my daughter Maddie,
Right.
who has changed me. And I often say and laugh about it now, she saved my life, but I evolved as a father and man. And then all of a sudden, an interaction with a complete stranger. So, my mindset and my life is in a much different place than to act
Right.
upon that in what it means and what we have to do then when you do want to act.
Yeah. That's such a powerful understanding for me, and I hope it's resonating with people that, when you're out doing the things that you do now, that, like you said, we often hear people say, I know where you've been. And let's face it, when we hear it about ourselves, when someone says it to us, we go, no, you don't. You don't know where I've been. And when you listen to your story and what you just listed down, but I so appreciate you mentioning the mental health part and going to ask for help. I think that's obviously in 2020 and 2021, every year it's been like this, but this year it's like it's been amplified, right? So,
and when people ask me that now, Peter, I say, get it now. I so wish that when it happened, I should have been in therapy and speaking to professionals immediately. And honestly, it was years. And
yeah.
it broke me down as a human being.
I can so relate to that. And on a side note, for me, I have a family member that's experiencing for the last 3 years or so mental health issues, and it affects everybody. So I totally feel your pain, my friend. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
And again, hey, and just so you know, and I know you know this, and I'm not making light, I'm just saying Elvis was a twin as well, just so you know. So there's great specialness in being a twin. There is great specialness in being a twin.
There is something beautiful about it.
There is. So no, listen, so giving back and making a difference to you. I mean, it's just built into your brand, if you will. It's almost like a personal brand, but it's certainly a mission. It's more of a mission. It's more of who you are. It's actually, it's not something that you went out to create. It's just that you started doing it. And this is the result of it, is that people recognize you as that. So obviously giving back and making a difference is an important thing. I'm thinking about the individuals out there right now that might be listening right now. Someone who wants to make a difference. They're one person. They figure it's overwhelming. There's too many issues. There's too many challenges. I don't know where to start. And I'm just one person. I can't make a difference.
Yeah.
Talk to that person right now about the fact that from experience that one person can impact the world. Talk to that person right now.
Well, I first of all, I said it, if they were with us early, I said it in the news story. I think that I needed, when I was taking pictures and interacting with strangers, I found such joy. And the first picture I took was at that Wendy's drive-thru. Don't know why I wanted to take it, but when I processed that and went back and said something, I found the meaning around that. So, a lot of times the ability to give and to give selflessly, to others, we can find such great joy. I uttered something too, even in that news story, and the first time I ever said those words. And what I share with people is, when I go into these situations with complete strangers, I usually never know what I'm going to say. And I get about 90 seconds to 2 minutes with people.
Right.
And it's real. Yeah, I don't get a second chance. We're in that moment. We're a complete stranger. They don't know we're coming. And I said the words, we smile and make others smile because life is hard. It's not easy. And I said it to a 28-year-old school teacher who was battling stage 3 colon cancer. And the school had reached out to me because they saw the positivity she had by showing up every day. That was infectious, even though she was going through chemo and fighting for her life. And I found myself saying that in the moment, and trying to really impress upon people that even though we have these challenges, and looking back of where I was in my life, thinking that life is so defined by stuff.
Right. Things.
You have to have success, stuff, the materialistic things. And that, again, this is something that Maddie has really dripped on me, and where I evolved is that, truly joy and happiness is a choice and can be found in the simplicity of life. And I see it in her, in which she finds it in just her family and friends. It doesn't, it's not defined by the next car, the next house, the next trip, where you have to go. So these people, that are going through what I call the shit show in life at times and battling things, whatever the hardships and challenges and struggles are, can consciously make choices, in which I wish I made, different choices, in my life. So we try to impress upon people, and I can't take credit for this. And I had a conversation with somebody actually up in Toronto, was a motivational speaker last summer.
Okay.
And when he heard the saying that I said, we smile because life is hard and not easy, he asked if I had ever heard of the company called Life is Good.
Yes, right.
And I said, yeah, man.
Yes,
I said, shit, I love that stuff, man. They make t-shirts and these stick figures. But he asked me if I knew what the mission statement was. And I said, I actually don't. I just thought they sold t-shirts and all that and told us that life is really good. But when I heard what the company was all about, as far as their level of positivity and their 3 simple phrases, it's what now I tell people, and they are: life is not perfect, life is not easy, life is good.
Life is good.
And it's what we go through in life. So even though you're battling cancer, you lost your job, you have addiction, no matter where you are in life is still amazing. So I look back on my journey, regardless of my daughter not being able to talk to me, or losing a son, or finding that I was broke and living with my parents, life is still ridiculously amazing.
Isn't it? I say it we all have our own little ways of doing it. I always think to myself, first of all, as soon as you lay your feet down, gratitude. As soon as you get on the ground, gratitude. And I always think, wow, the alternative is just not there. It's like it's good to be alive. And I mean that. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just like, it is. Peter, what's the alternative here? What are you going to do? You're going to so you start working on that mindset. So I love that. I super appreciate you sharing that and so on. And I want to make sure everyone's feeling super connected here. There's so many cool comments coming in. So I want to make sure you feel connected, Michael, because this is all about, listen, they're tuning in to see you, my friend. Look, beautiful humans, love you guys. Hey, thanks, Nancy. Super appreciate that.
I can't wait to hug Nancy real time. And that's going to happen in a few weeks. Love you, girl.
She's been so kind to me. I sent her no money, no money, no nothing. And she's just been super kind to me. So no, she's a great human. Totally love this. Miles of smiles. There you go, buddy. Sending shit. Oh, that's from Suzanne Heaton. She has something called Suzanne Heaton here in Calgary, Michael. And she talks about motivated by nature, getting out to nature and feeling as good as you do.
There's something so medicinal about nature and being outside.
Right, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely. So a little bit more love from there. Look at this. I'm going to throw this up. She just boom. Nothing short of miraculous. He's spreading live and kindness around the U.S. in a time when people need it most. And around the world, I would say, by the way, just so you know, around the world, I would say, we can't all exactly do what Michael is doing. We can all share love and kindness in our communities. So there you go, Michael. You're just leading the way. And of course, please donate what you can. And absolutely, Nancy, that's what I was going to ask you about that, Michael. We'll get to that in a bit, but for sure, I mean, this is something you do mostly on your own. So the more that people can help, the better, obviously, and maybe more people that you can reach out to and so on. Let me throw this across the pond. Sean Haggerty's across the pond. He's in the UK.
What's up, bro?
So if I'm not, so there you go. Your videos are great. Love this. Judy Miko. She's my favorite in the world. Listen, so Judy's a realtor in the Connecticut kind of area. I keep getting that wrong, but anyway,
beautiful
she is
human
awesome.
being.
She's an awesome human being. Super appreciate that. And Nancy's throwing up more love. I just want to put the love up, make sure that everyone kind of sees. Here's a good friend that you would love. This guy, Michael. Matt.
I recognize his name. Yeah, Matt.
Maddie watches your stuff because Maddie is all about making sure people understand the challenges that people have with ADHD, for example, in their lives and in their businesses and so on. So he's a great coach, all that kind of stuff. So good to see you here. Here's Peter Bole. Love that. Look, man, they're sending you love, brother. And of course, Maddie Moo is magic. You got that right. This is fantastic. Sometimes a LinkedIn user comes up. We can't see Beth.
Beth. Yes. She's over in the DC area. Love that lady.
Okay, you're connected. Yeah, okay. I'm not familiar with that name. That's a connection for you. Fantastic. Here's the father of two-step father, and two of grandfather, two children make a world. There you go. So everyone can relate to your story as well. That is fantastic. Look at Ramona in Florida. Hey, she's not too far from you. You were just down there.
No, she's a phenomenal artist. If nobody knows who that gal is, I have nicknames for people. I call her Ram, but crazy awesome artist in the Sarasota area in Florida. Yeah.
Fantastic. I just want to throw this one up. I think it's grief is the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about. We all need to open up and speak about the elephant in the room, right? I think that was from Suzanne Heaton. So just what you talked about, my friend, about getting help.
Dude, you snap a leg, you go get it fixed. You got a broken heart, you have open heart surgery. We do all of these things, but somehow still mental and emotional health is so damn taboo.
Right. I don't know. Yeah. And still in 2021, we're still having that conversation. So here's Brian. A world of Michael is where you want to live.
B-Wall's a good dude, man.
Totally relate to that. Absolutely. So many great comments in here. Hey, I got to give a shout out to this guy. I think I've heard of this guy. You know, when he comes out of his shell, he's going to do well as well. He's going to do well when he comes out and, you know.
the king of voice, your vibe, man, brother Showman. God, I love that dude.
Yeah, he's rocking and rolling. He's always very kind to me, getting in on his show and enjoying spreading the vibes there and all that kind of stuff. And of course, he's sending vibes to Maddie Moo as well. I just want to make sure you saw all those, my fine friend. They're all cheering for you. That is for sure. Myself as well. Let me ask you this. I mean, you again. I just want to throw this at you. You don't know this because the hair will fool you every single time. You come from the mortgage business. I used to literally at one time in my life was in financial services, believe it or not. And I had my real estate license. So I used to work with mortgage brokers all the time.
Look, man, rockers have day jobs too, baby. I mean, come on.
Hey, listen, man, rock and roll. You got to do something on the side.
You know it, man.
You got to do something on the side.
Sometimes when you're getting going, rocking is a side hustle, you know, so.
Right. It's so true. It's so true. You know, again, you spent 20 plus years in the mortgage industry, and you just listed all the things that you've had a challenge with in your life and you overcome. And of course, now you're using your voice as a force for good in the world. So super appreciate that. I'm just wondering, not just business wise and not necessarily Maddie Moo, and there's no disrespect to that because people know you with Maddie Moo, but I'm wondering what are you most proud of your journey to date? What would you say is something that you really cling to as something that, and I don't mean pride, ego. I just mean pride. Ego. You know, you look in the mirror and you go, I like myself because of that. What would you say that is?
You know what? I did an impromptu when I was in Florida, and we did about 20 I call them smile events down there. There were 3 or 4 that were impromptu. And in those cases, you just don't know the when, where, why. And I did one with a dude at 12:15 a.m. on South Beach. He rolled up to me, and we just like instantly connected. We felt the energy from each other, and we did something for him. And a lot of times what takes me back to when I first took pictures is I asked someone what makes them amazing. And his answer is my answer. And that is, I love being a father. I think the thing that I'm most proud of are my children. And in the imprint of what I leave with them. And, you know, I have a interesting dichotomy too, you know, where my oldest child's 24, my youngest, my son is 14. And my 24-year-old knew when dad had a different level of success. And that success meant that in some cases she thought money grew on trees and it was too easy to do things. Where my 14-year-old understands and appreciate the struggle and the journey and how that can change a man and where they see their dad today. Because again, we get in our heads a lot of times that success is defined by certain things that society tells us that's how you're successful. I define success now by not only the comments, but the private messages that people send me. And those generally are the people who never comment, who quietly watch behind the scenes and then open up and talk about where they are in their life and what they've been going through. I had a guy by the name of William Dean in St. Louis, and I do this mostly full time, but I took a part-time job for the holidays. I was delivering packages for UPS.
I saw that.
I said I was like Santa. And so in trying to still engage with the beautiful people in my community, I got a private message from William in which he shared with me that his wife of 38 years had died the night before.
Oh.
And him watching me through the challenges of her end of life, he wanted to thank me for the love that I brought him. And I'm trying to process it in my mind going, your wife died last night. How am I on your radar, dude? And in that moment, I was in my car, of course, delivering packages, and I just broke down crying, trying to process his grief, because sometimes in those cases, it takes me back to what I felt when I lost my son, and I immediately went back to that place. But then I immediately started recording just to share with the world that it's okay. It's okay to deal with it. It's okay to break down. What's beautiful is that we have this community of a lot of people who really love and care about each other, and that we can come together then to think, if you pray, whatever it is, to kind of get William through what he's going through.
Yeah, I saw that video, my friend. I know exactly what you're referring to. I saw that and I was like, what is going on? Like, because you're like, as soon as you hit click, the video, you were in it. And I was like,
oh, I was already bawling. I was already bawling, processing it.
Yeah. No, and I mean that in a super positive way. That was like, wow, this is so, I just want to, connect with this guy. I got to connect with this guy. So I'm going to see right now, let me just bring this up. I definitely want to show people this as well. I mean, when they go to your LinkedIn page, there's an example of your page. As soon as you come up, look, this is his recent post. The first 3 words you see is joy, love, happiness. And look at Maddie Moo there. And so I just wanted to show people what this looks like when you see videos like this. Let me just see if that actually will play for us a bit.
Oh, yeah. I know. Hey, blow kisses. Hey, blow kisses.
I mean, come on, man. That's great stuff to share. I mean, it's just unbelievable stuff to share. And I also want to just show, for example, some of the things that you talk about in here. What I love about that, of course, you took love, of course, is your theme for the year. I think it's just in you. You could pick any year for you. I know that. Unconditional love is fantastic. And you talk about down here, what I really like is gratitude, and just trying to teach other people about, just reminding them that they can get through and so on. Where do you think that depth of gratitude, because we use that word a lot today. I know that I'm doing every moment of my day, just to be clear, I'm reminding myself of how grateful I need to be. Even if I don't feel it, I keep saying it. Where do you think that depth of gratitude is coming from when you've experienced so much tragedy, I wonder?
For me, I think it starts with faith. I'm an insanely faithful guy. I don't talk about it a lot, but it kind of guides me. I have a level of humility that keeps me grounded, and I don't talk about this piece a lot, but I don't do well with praise.
Totally.
I don't. And it's a lot easier on social media because it's the Wizard of Oz effect. You're behind the curtain, so there's this layer there in which I understand that I have influence and impact, but I guess, you know, in hearing it all the time on LinkedIn, I can separate myself. I found that because I became more recognizable in the city, you know, going to the grocery store, and I'm, you know, look, I'm not a celebrity. That's not my point, but going to Starbucks or the grocery store, or I walked out of the grocery store the other day, and this is real. A dude walked up to me with his cell phone and said, "Sir, can you help me?" I said, "Yeah, what's up, brother?" And he turned, and on his cell phone was a picture of me and Maddie. And he just said, "Man, I just follow you on LinkedIn. I love you. I love what you do." But my point with that is, what I found when that started happening, it's different in the moment when you're face to face with somebody processing that, because what I like to share is, man, Peter, or anybody listening, I'm no different than any of you. I just chose that when I knew I was losing my job going through a Wendy's, that I wanted to go about life differently. And Nevin, you said this earlier, in what really I found about 1.5 years ago, where it resonated with me the first time, is the power of one. You know, when you create that change in your life and you see the impact in others, but you keep doing it. And some of this is probably the Gary V effect. Don't worry about getting paid. Don't worry about the money.
Right.
Work, you know, just focus, be patient, do the work. And it's not work.
No.
That's the thing. And when he talks about that a lot, find something that you're insanely passionate about. So if you're doing it 16 hours a day, it's not work, you know. But I got to that point that I understood that, holy shit, this thing is bigger than me.
Right.
I'm just a dude, you know. So I guess for me, it's faith, it's humility, it's staying grounded, in which, you know, I'm trying to now just work my way through in, you know, leaving a footprint with people that get through what you need to get through sooner than I did.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. And I appreciate you kind of sharing that you, one of the things that you recognize is that I needed help and I didn't get it. And there was something in the way, obviously pride, ego, maybe just plain unawareness of the help that was available. It could be a number
stubbornness, it's being a dude. I mean, it's all that stuff, you know. Yeah.
I agree with you on that about being a guy. One thing we're not good at as guys, I mean, it's like, hey, don't go all Oprah on me. It's like, come on, man, like open, right? Like open up here, like just be normal. And when I say be normal, I'm just saying, like, I know, but I know that you feel this, and I'll just say one sentence to you that I think you'll resonate with. I find guys are like that with me privately. Guys will open up to me easily because they don't feel the judgment as a guy, you know? So I'm just, I don't know. That's just the empath in me.
I used to, you know, pre-2006. Well, and I say 2006, I wasn't an emotional man at all. Losing my son changed me. Hell, I can't watch a damn romantic comedy now, probably at some point, without crying. But yet, I guess for me, once I figured it out, 2014, 15, is when I saw the other side. Again, I shared earlier, going, hey, 9 years of antidepressants are enough. You know, now I just need to put in the work. Right. You know, that a pill's not going to fix it, but, you know, so
totally relate.
And it came from years of therapy too, dude. So I finally started getting professional help in 2011. So
yeah, you've done the work, and I can relate. I'll just share that part of my story is that my relatives thinks that there's a pill out there, and you know what? There's not one thing. You got to do the work. You really got to do the work.
Yeah.
Man, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing all of that. You know, 2020 and 2021 is still, we're here. We're still in it, whatever this is. And you know, over the last, I would say 10 years, I mean, generally speaking, you know, if you just turn on the news, you're probably not feeling so good all the time. So I'm just wondering for you, just in general, what keeps you hopeful and optimistic? What things keep you most hopeful and optimistic these days?
Me. And I don't want that to sound arrogant, but I think, it's the work that part of what it is the work that I do. Seeing people talk about it and what they're doing in their lives and how they feel when they do it. And what I try to share with people too is that what you see on video is just a small slice. And I try to impress upon people, it's not about the balloons. It's not about the gift cards. Those things are great. It's what we do in our normal course of our daily lives to leave that footprint with strangers. The balloon in that background floating, sometimes the life expectancy is a few weeks. It will die and fade. People will spend the gift cards, but they will still remember how they felt when a stranger came to them. But it's no different in how we act towards others. So for me, what gives me great hope are the people that are influenced by what I do, and they start to see life differently. That, even through this shit show, I talked about Maddie.
Right.
In that when the pandemic hit, I had early moments and I sat there looking on her couch going, you have no clue what's going on. You're still just super chill. You don't have any fear, anxiety, stress, any of it.
Right. Yeah.
It's about, these choices we make. So getting people from watching me to find those places in their life. And it's the simplicity of the ripple effect that we truly understand, that now when I throw that pebble in, it's not just 4 or 5 ripples, it's 400 or 500,
right,
where it's gone out. People have privately sent me videos that they have done, but they can't leave their comfort zone. They video it, but they don't want to share it with the world. But yet, all over the country in which they're doing things and the life of what they touch. And the beauty is that those people feel it, and a lot of times it's unexpected kindness. It's loved, and then they go talk about it and share it and what it does then for others. And again, I tell people, I never thought my life would be changed by going through a Wendy's drive-thru.
right.
Okay,
Yes.
So when we least expect it, life can certainly 180.
Yeah, I understand that, and I really do, and I resonate with it because the conversation or the description of how the ripple effect that you had, that power of one, the fact that you reached out to that one person at a drive-through and then continue to reach out to one person at a time. That person then will obviously tell their network, and the ripple effect that you're having, and that is the true power of one. Ask anyone who's trying to get some sleep at night with a mosquito in the room. That's the power of one, right? Right. That's the power of one.
Some bitch can get the best of you, baby.
Yeah. Right. So I totally get that. Hey, listen, there's so many comments coming in, and I feel I'd be remiss if I just keep missing some of them here. So I just want to skim through, and I apologize to everybody that is sending in so on. We just want to make sure. Look at this. There's lots of love being shared right there. Love this right here. Michael's amazing. Yes, indeed. There you go. Hey, anyone call subprime hero? I mean, there you go, right there.
Right.
Gratitude is key. Absolutely agree with that, Nancy, for sure. And of course, you just mentioned faith, Michael. So obviously that helped you a lot. Tim, good to see you. Thanks, Tim. Life is not perfect and not easy. Yeah, I love that. It's
a
funny
good
because
dude, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Absolutely. I love this. And so, and of course, there you go. Michael brings so much joy, infectious laugh, humanity, and genuine love. I mean, man, when people talk about you like that must feel pretty good, though. Does it? Does it make you feel good? I mean, I don't mean it. I just mean, for me,
No,
it makes me emotional.
it does, because I don't take any of those comments for granted, because again, we're all going through different things in life, and what we do touches everyone differently. But for me, it's kind of like the payment. I mean, again, I'm an emotional dude. I have some private moments where it's hard to process it all.
I agree. There you go. Look, savor the awesomeness. There you go. Look, how do you beat that? Awesomeness. I mean,
right in Houston, Texas, KD.
There you go. Boom. These guys. It's all good.
Yeah.
So everyone's on here sending you so much love. It's fantastic. Love this right here. I think Oh, this is Suzanne again. Thank you, Suzanne, for sticking around. A ripple creating a tsunami of smiles. Look at that. A ripple. So you started the ripple, brother, and you create a tsunami. So appreciate that. You know what? We just started to have fun, just so you know. We haven't even started yet. So listen, we're going into a part of the show that I love. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So first of all, Michael, thank you for being an open book and transparent. Listen, we could talk all day.
You're very welcome.
I want to be very respectful with your time and for people watching and so on. But you and I share a passion. Again, my liver is half Scotch and Irish. So I think there's a small film of Guinness around my liver. It just sits there all the time.
Right.
So I know we share. You're a bourbon guy. You love bourbon. I know you love a good stogie every now and then, which is great.
I do.
Good for you. Listen, life's little pleasures, right? I mean, we're not advocating anything, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere in my world, right? So
amen, brother.
And before we get to the next part of the show, I've always wanted to at least have a little cheers with you. So can we join each other right now? I know that you said you might have something there on the side. Let me have a look.
I got my favorite glass, and it actually has a bullet that goes through it.
That is killer cool. So
what's
your
holy grails in Kentucky?
There you go. Okay, there you go. Now listen, everybody, just putting it out there. We're not advocating any of this for everybody. We're not advocating, these lifestyles.
No, look, I said earlier, thankfully I didn't turn to booze and all that. I do love a good drink. So
sure. Listen. So do I. So you go. So I'm going to pick a Scotch of mine. Here's a look at that one.
Nice.
Just so you know. Nice little port finish there, my fine friend. So it's a beautiful little. It's kind of a breakfast thing. It's early here. It's actually before noon here, just so you know. But
hey, so people listening at home understand this. 97% of the world's bourbon comes from Kentucky.
That's right.
So as you consume it anywhere in this world, again, most of it comes from my backyard somewhere.
There you go. So my fine friend, I just wanted to say cheers to you before we go on to our next segment. Always wanted to do this with you. I know you're a bourbon guy, so cheers.
Amen, brother. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers to good to see you. And hey, it's nothing like a Scotch before noon.
Right?
It's just me.
Absolutely delicious.
It could be just me, just so you know.
Right?
Okay. It could be just me. I'll find out. I'll talk to my wife later on. She'll let me know. Hey, let's get into some fun stuff. Let's get into.
Bring it, brother.
We're having fun now. I couldn't wait to do this with you. I've created this little part of the show where I like to get to know people a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you just ask them a question that gets inside their mind. So I want to get inside the mind of Michael Ray.
Mind melting.
Right. So I want to do this or that with Michael Ray. This or that. So I'll name a couple things, and then you just go ahead and then tell me which. And there's no right or wrong answer.
Okay.
This is a little insight into.
I'm already excited, baby. Bring it.
Yeah, let's bring it on. We're not even. And there's a better part coming for you in a second here. Here we go. Let's go with this. So we're talking about bourbons. We just had a little sip. Woodford Reserve or Jefferson's Small Batch.
I'm a Woodford guy. Yeah, I probably would go Woodford.
Got it. Spider-Man or Batman?
Batman, because when I was 5, I got lit up by my father. I got a tool set watching. I'm talking old school Batman, and I threw the hammer at the TV and I cracked the screen.
You needed a Batmobile then just to get away.
When they put up the bam, kazow, and I threw that hammer as a young kid at the TV.
That didn't work out. I don't even want to know the answer.
No, it did not.
That did not work out. 60s music or 80s music?
I'm an 80s guy.
Yeah, me too. Look, it's stuck in the 80s.
I'm an 80s dude. My first concert was Journey in the mid 80s, so I'm a big 80s guy. Van Halen, all of it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Listen, me too, brother. I'm stuck there, and of course, I love 60s because I love the Stones and Beatles.
Sure, yeah. There's still good stuff there, but when you ask me between the two, I'm 80s.
80s. I'm with you, 100% with you. Convertible or truck?
Oh, I may live in Kentucky, but I'm not a truck guy. Convertible. I want a Jeep. I want a yellow Jeep.
Okay.
So when I'm showing up, when Maddie and I are showing up, we're in a yellow Jeep with the top down in the summer.
I got a picture to my head.
So it's convertible, but yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I love it. We're going out to grab a bite to eat. Chinese food or Italian food?
Italian man, love me some pasta.
Yeah, me too, right? If I was going to an island, I always told my spouse the way she makes pasta for me, I'm like, I'd eat it every single day. Had a glass of red wine? Are you kidding me? All day
God,
long.
love it. Yeah,
Yeah,
love
all
it.
day long, all day long. How about this? This is going to go along with the bourbon question for you. Monte Cristo White Vintage Connecticut #3 or a Naturo Fuento Hemingway short.
So you know what? I've never had the Monte Cristo, but I have had a lot of Fuente Hemingway, and my go-to back in the day was the signature Hemingway.
Okay.
Which, if you see some of those, they actually have a tip that you light on the end. So Fuente Hemingways has a very, very good series. So love the Fuente. Yes.
There you go.
Very, very good. I'm a mild to medium guy, and so I like Maduro wrappers.
Yeah.
And Cuba makes a very good one.
Fantastic.
When I say Cuba, it's Acid is the brand, but Cuba Maduro. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I knew you'd know that stuff. And that's all cigars, everyone, we're talking about. Just so you know, Michael, I'll just put it into reference for you. Both of those are medium, just so you know. Both of them are medium. So they're both from the DR, they're from Dominican. And the Monte Cristo is actually matched up flavor-wise with the Woodford Reserved, and the Fuente is matched up with Jefferson's, just so you know.
Which is so cool. There's nothing, and we're getting into the time of year where I call my deck time, and I absolutely love this time. From about mid-March to mid-October, to where I'm sitting on the deck having 1 or 2 bourbons and a stogie. And it's just, and you know what? It good music in the background. It's just super chill.
You are in so much trouble when the border opens. If you can get me down there with whiskey,
right, brother. Come on, baby. Open arms, man.
Let's go. How about this? Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset. Sunset. There's something magical about watching it. And I just had it recently, as I shared with you. I was in Florida in the Keys and saw one in the Keys, man. When that thing, and it was so cool. There were about 40, 50 people that all had glasses, and they had music playing in the background that was like, perfectly synced when the sun went down, and once it fully dropped, everybody raised their glasses and cheers. I was like, "Oh my God, this is perfect!"
Right. I mean, I listen. Those are that's what we're talking about when you're doing a cheers with someone. It's those special moments that it's wrapped around that makes it even more special.
I was like, man, this is why life is good right here.
That's why life is good. Life is good. How about this one? I'm fascinated to hear this one. Hope or freedom?
Hope. Yeah, I think that we always, again, when people are going through things in life, and sometimes what's so hard is we don't know why some people go through more than others, but to still have hope that we will come out on the other side gives us something to live for. And I'm not trying to diminish freedom either by any stretch, because obviously during a pandemic, I mean, we've seen some of those challenges, but hope gives us a chance for tomorrow.
There's no right or wrong, but I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a hope guy as well. So because you can hope for freedom. That's just in my books. See people who don't have it, hope for it,
brother.
So yeah, absolutely. Finish this sentence for me, my fine friend. I love my life because
of the people in it. I find such love, joy, and happiness with people.
Shows it absolutely.
With people, man.
Yeah. Cheers to that, my fine friend. Grab your glass. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. I appreciate that. Now, normally I'd wrap up the show. Right now, I normally wrap up the show. All right. So now that we poured a drink, just pretend everybody we wrapped up the show, and here's just me and Michael hanging out right now. So I thought to myself, you always go around giving people so much joy. And for me I can't give you these balloons, obviously, and sort of can't bring over a bottle of whiskey for you to sit with you, so we can't do that. So I wanted to do something special for you. I've never done this before, not on this show, that's for sure. And so I thought I wanted to do a quick little tribute to you and Maddie and your relationship together, because I know you love music.
Damn it, you're gonna make me cry, brother.
No. Well, that's up to you, but that's not the intention. The intention is
I know that,
to share something with you that I wanted to give you, because you give so much to other people. So that's why you're lucky the borders are closed, because I'd be over every weekend.
We would have you every weekend.
I'd be over every weekend with you. That is for sure. But I definitely wanted to do a little tribute to you guys. This is for you and Maddie. So it'll take me a second here to set this up.
Yeah.
But if you stick with me for like 30 seconds.
Hey, real quick, did you see the one I did in Florida, an impromptu one with the live acoustic
I did so.
guitarist, man?
Of course.
And when he started I was like, in my mind, I was just losing it. I was like,
I know
this
you
is
love
so,
music.
yeah.
I know. I love that. I know. I watched that newsreel as well. I saw you were like, "You're my brown-eyed girl." He's like, "Oh man, I got to bring some of my Jimmy Buffett down there for this guy, big time, big time." But I put something together for you. It's just a couple minutes. I'm going to do it live. So I've never done this before. I hope it works out. And
I'm feeling you, dude. Yeah.
It's a privilege to do this with you. And I just wanted to share something back and just say, hey, man, I appreciate you. And all I can give is this. This is all I know how to do. So let me share this with you right now. I'm going to move this and I'm going to bring up a couple of things that hopefully will resonate with you. I'm
excited.
I'm excited too. I'm a little nervous, actually. It'll
be great.
But I love this. And let me just move this over here. I'm just moving around some screens now. I got to change a couple things on my computer here. So stay with me.
Yeah, you do your technology.
Okay, there we go. Different sound, a little bit different sound. The reason why.
My dude, there you are, man.
Got my little guitar for you. And I want to send this out to you, my friend, you and Maddie, okay? This is for you and Maddie. And when I heard this song, this is one of my favorite songs. I just instantly said that this is Michael and Maddie right here. So this is for you, my fine friend. This is for you. When you need me, call my name. 'Cause without you, my life just wouldn't be the same. If you want me, come sunny skies or rain. If you need me, call my name. If you miss me, I'll be there to brush the sunlight from your hair. I'll be there to guide you and walk trouble beside you. If you need me, I'll be there. And when this dirty world has been cold to you, I got 2 strong arms waiting to hold you. When those mean days come along, we'll stand together and we'll take them on. If you need me, call my name. When you need me, call my name. 'Cause without you, my life just wouldn't be the same. When this world kicked me around, baby, you picked me up off the ground. If you need me, I'll be there. If you need me, I'll be there.
Damn it, dude. I feel, can you hear me?
All right, my friend.
I feel like it's a part of a show and a concert in which you're just so moved. And it takes me to what I always tell people is that people will forget what you did, they will forget what you said, but they won't forget how you made them feel. And that was just a moment in which, you know, when we have these moments in our life, we don't forget those feelings.
Mm.
When we're with friends in the backyard, at a concert, you know, all these different things, you know. So me, it's just how you made me feel, brother.
Awesome.
And
brother.
I got to know, how do I get a copy of that?
Well, I'll send you the original one.
Because that needs to be shared. I need to share that with my world when such amazingly gifted, loving, kind, talented people like yourself do that. I need that.
I appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
I
appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was for you.
And you know, and that's the thing. And that, again, you know, that's what love and kindness looks like. And that's what I feel is that intense joy and happiness.
Yeah.
That's
the power of music. That's the power.
Because you didn't have to do that. The gift of having me on and talking about, you know, my life and what inspires me and has impacted me is enough. But for you to do that is special, my friend.
Oh, you're super welcome.
Very special.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah. Listen, I value your time, so I super appreciate that. I want to make sure everybody connects with you here. Certainly, you have a giant LinkedIn network. I hope it grows tremendously from this or from everything else you continue to do. There's how to reach out to Michael Ray right there here on LinkedIn. Of course, he's also has his website. I'll put that up along the bottom there, just to make sure everyone knows. You can go to smileprojectlouisville.com. You can connect with him there and figure out ways that you can either help him with his project or just connect and have a smile.
There you go, baby.
Connect and just keep spreading the love and the joy and so on. Everything you do is contagious. I'm so passionate about what I feel I'm supposed to be doing in life, which is using my voice for a sense of goodness and giving back and amplifying those who don't have a voice. And
you do it so well, my friend. Yeah,
I appreciate that. And in your case, even I know you have a voice, but if I can, in one tiny way, push it to another ripple that goes somewhere else and it goes out, then we've done our jobs with using this technology to bring people together. So I super appreciate taking the time to connect with you, and I hope you stick around after. We'll have a quick little chat and so on. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. The thing is blown up here on LinkedIn. I just love all of these comments and so on. I'm trying to find some names here that probably haven't gotten their name on there and stuff. And there's Brian throwing it out, and someone said, "Thank you, appreciate that." And that is for them. It's again. Listen, my friend, I'm telling you. I know what you mean by finding the joy in what you can do. And if I thought playing, and that's why I've learned to play guitar, I don't play it for me. People think, you play. I don't.
Sure, yeah.
You don't play it for yourself. You can sit home and do that. I love sharing it with friends and family and people like yourself and so on. So there's Brian throwing out a whole bunch of love, and Nancy, of course, she ran out of hearts. I think she stole them all, so they're all gone. So if you guys are trying to use the heart emoji right now, no, Brian did it. Okay, sorry.
He's a thief. I often tell him I love him more than he loves me. So.
Oh man, listen. I can't thank you enough. It's such a joy to see you and finally do this with each other and connect and talk and put a voice and name to
it.
It
is beautiful because in LinkedIn, as we know, we see such beautiful people like yourself all the time. So I always say when it comes to a close, it's a two-way street. It starts with you. So thank you for bringing me into your world today. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I super appreciate that. Listen, thank you everybody for watching us here. We were linked up on LinkedIn. We were live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all kinds of different things. But please go out and connect with Michael Ray. Support what he's doing with smileprojectlouisville.com. And I want to quick little shout out, thank you to Karen Judge. Quick little thanks for these cool little happy things. I mean, I couldn't come on the show without balloons and happy things. I mean, come on, this is Michael Ray. You know, this is Michael Ray, everybody. There you go. Kind is cool. You know, I don't know if you know that is one of my mantras is why I always end all my posts with be kind out there, because I think it's super important. And I heard this, I think it was either from Dr. Wayne Dyer. You know, basically when you have the choice between being right and be kind, choose kind.
Choose kind for me.
Yeah, right. All day long. So I think that works every single time. I'm going to end with, I thought this was an appropriate video to end with. I'll see you on the other side of this video. Michael, everybody else, thank you for joining us. And hey, be kind out there. Be kind out there. See you on the other side, everybody. Cheers. So I found a new friend, and we traded a pen for this soccer ball, and I thought it was really nice because I just gave him the pen because he'd been helping me throughout the day to learn 𝘾𝙡𝙀, and he's a very smart boy, knows English very well, very good English. Yes, so I gave him a pen, which they love pens, and 10-15 minutes later he came back and gave me a ball for the trade. So I just thought that was really, really cool because I didn't ask for it.
Let's see ball.
So
𝘾𝙡𝙀𝙀.
Yeah, pita. Yeah, so he gave me that. So I'm really, really happy about that. And I'll be bringing this back to Canada. And yeah, I thought it was awesome. He's a really, really, really clever kid. He's going to be an English teacher.
Professor.
Yeah.
Anglais.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you.